Oh, we back in the building, y'all. Smash that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this video. Cause we gotta talk about Jim. And yeah, that guy, Jim Jones, that rapper from Harlem. He been going viral, been all on the internet trending for the last, I wanna say, I want what, Jim been trending for what, about what, 2, 3 months now? Going back and forth with Cam, and now we got this whole see, I didn't even want to touch on this topic, pause. But since it's trending so much, I said, you know what? Let me speak on this since Wack 100 just jumped on No Jumper and he actually spoke about this a little bit more. Now, Jim done went through a little situation. I want to say, I ain't going to say situation. He going through an internet situation. It's a little buzz going on the internet right now with some OG Bloods, whatever. You know, Bloods. You got the Bloods, you got the Crips, you got all that. Well, this little OG that actually had a few words for Jim when Jim did the interview with Fat Joe. Now we all remember the interview he just did with Fat Joe. Now I mean when Fat Joe asked him that question, are you down with the drop your flag challenge? Shout out to Hocus Full Fifth. He the one that started this challenge. Jim's answer wasn't the answer that everybody was suspecting to hear. He's saying that no, I'm not doing this, this and that and the third, kudos to everybody, but I started something, I gotta finish it. I'm in a position to help people, basically saying he's in a position to help homies. And the YNs, the ones that's running behind the OGs that stick in the street life is cool under that banner, under the blood, the crip, the GDs, the BDs, whatever you want to call it. Well, the OG that actually responded to Jim, he didn't take it quite kindly. Kind of called Jim out, called him saying that he need a fade, what type of war you been in, because Jim said one thing in that interview. He said, yeah, it's a war out here that we gotta finish. We gotta finish. So that kind of triggered a lot of people that built the first generation of the East Coast Bloods out there in New York. Now go do y'all research on the first generation. A lot of them did a lot of time back then. A lot of them went through a lot of wars. They had to stand up for I guess, the blacks and Hispanics and all that. If anybody know about Rikers Island and all this back in the 90s, Hispanic kind of took over the jail system, if you want to say it that way, because the Latin Kings came along. Then they kind of took over. First, it was the Muslims and all that in the 80s, the 5%ers. Then the Latin Kings kind of formed up, and things kind of changed after the years went by. That's when you got the East Coast Blood. They came out in '93. So when you got the OGs that's actually speaking on things like this, people got to understand they get triggered about saying that, oh, we in the war, this and that. And I understand people say the war in the streets. But Jimmy, you were an entertainer. You wasn't banging out there in the streets like the rest of the homie was in the early 2000s, in the late 90s. You might have had a few little here and there, but you wasn't banging like the rest of these people was in the streets, Jim. You were an entertainer, you were a rapper, so you was able to get away from that. Go to your big houses, go to your condos. Let's talk about it because this is a topic that everybody got to understand. When these people get in the entertainment world, sometimes it's just better off to just be quiet because you trigger the wrong people. That part, and I sit back and wait. Let's get this show started, man. Because we got to talk about Jim and his little shenanigans going on in the New York streets right now, man. So smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video. Let's get this show started. Yo, 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 yo. If they know, they know. It's your boy Smoke News TV. We back in the building. Smash that thumbs up. It ain't gonna hurt your feeling. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Don't know what you're waiting for. Keep that notification bell on so you know when these videos are actually dropping. Share the video. Shout out to everybody that got their membership. Try to get yours also. Team Smoke Gang. Let's get this copyright out the way. Copyright fair use disclaimer. You can find that in my description on my channel. Everything that I speak on over here is absolutely for educational and entertainment purpose. Again, copyright fair use disclaimer. You can find it in my description on my channel. Everything that I speak on over here is absolutely for educational and entertainment purpose. The clips and the videos I play are also owned by the original creators. All right, man. Let's get this show started because Jim is out of pocket. Now, we're going to start off actually with this OG that kind of went crazy on Jim Jones. And then we're going to get the Wack 100 interview on Adam 22 because Wack kind of defended Jim a little bit because he's saying that if y'all going to call him a fake blood now in 2025, pardon me. Y'all should have called him that 10, 15, 20 years ago when he first was broadcasting this shit all on the internet. Now, we have to admit, Jim Jones is one of the first commercial bloods coming out of East Coast New York with the East Coast blood thing when he came out with Certified Gangster. Y'all remember that song? That's what the game out there in West Coast. Remember, Jim went all the way in the West Coast to go do that video. That's around the time when he got connected to the homies out there and he kind of put the East Coast blood on the map as far as his banner and a few others under that UBN banner, I guess. Go do your research. So Jim takes a lot of credit that because he was the first commercial one. He was the first one to put the flags on a music video, something that we never seen in the East Coast. The whole Dipset flagged up, whole Harlem. We never seen that before. Go do your research. We never seen that in the 90s. We never seen that in the mid-90s. We never seen that in the early 2000s until Dipset came out. You might have seen 1, 2, 3 niggas with a little red, blue flag on somebody else's music video, but we never seen a whole bunch of New Yorkers flagged up. We only seen that in the West Coast. And that was Snoop Dogg and them music videos back in the 90s. So when Jim came out with this little East Coast blood and commercializing and all this, you could give him credit for that, but he kind of brainwashed a lot of these kids thinking that shit was cool. I'll sit back and wait on that. Because they brought the fashion behind the blood shit in the East Coast. Let's get to the OG speaking about Jim Jones saying that, nah, I'm not dropping my flag. I got things I got to handle, and we got a war that we got to continue fighting. This according to Jim, what he said. But check the OG out, what he said. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Copyright fair use disclaimer is definitely in effect. Y'all already know what's going on, man. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Including the first generation blood, OG Mondo. OG Mondo said he want to run the fade with Jim Jones. He said Jim Jones is not like that. He ain't putting no pain, and Jim Jones is just a fashion blood. But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments, y'all. It's 100 TV.
When you put the flag down.
Check this.
What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, what's your opinion?
To each his own.
To each his own.
But I think it's a way to do everything. I think that the positive message that he's trying to push, he didn't have to drop his flag to do so.
Homie Hogan's got the drop my flag challenge going on, right? And this bird mother right here, bird gang bird, right? Pigeon, park rat. He talking about the homie folks didn't have to drop his flag to deliver the message because, and his reason for not dropping the flag because Damu at war. What war this motherfucker been in? What yard he been in? Huh?
Now y'all see what I mean now. You see, when you start talking like that and you start talking about war and all this, that, I had to pause it there. I had to pause it, because you start triggering these OGs, these first generation that started at in the prison system to protect the ones that was getting attacked or the ones that was getting allegedly the one that was getting outnumbered inside of prison. I mean, that was during the Latin King era. That was that Latin King era and all that in the 90s. That's how that whole form of gangs end up coming. Because before the Bloods, there was only 5% in our keys. I sit back and wait. Everybody in the East Coast know that. New York and Jersey, Connecticut, Philly, okay, they still on it. They're not really too big on that blood shit over there. Shout out to Philly, because that's one of the cities that they're not even trying. The percentage with the gangs of the Bloods and the Crips is very, very, very low in Philly. I mean, it's very low. But as far as everywhere else, that shit just it came through like a fly, just it expanded everywhere. But before that, it was only 5%ers and Muslims. You turn an Aki, meaning the religion, but the Spanish people, they formed up Latin kings that came from Chicago. Not gonna bring down the whole history. Y'all can do your little research on that when y'all bored. But when you trigger OGs like him that went through war behind this shit, oh yeah, they're gonna feel very defensive what you're saying, talking about war, because you a hip hop fashion blood. It's what they calling Jim, disrespecting him. Back then, I agree with Wack 100 when we get to the videos. That's why I say sit back, buckle up. We're gonna be here for a little bit. Because when you in the entertaining world and you ain't go behind that wall for a couple of years and stand 10 toes down or met some of the first generation homies and all that, they're gonna look at you like a fashion entertaining blood, entertainer gang member. And you could be almost 50 years old like a person like Jim, and they look at him like that now. Maybe not back then because he was providing. You see what I mean here? When you provide for the crew and the gang, oh, it's all love and champagne popping. But once that shit stop and you trigger the wrong, and you say the wrong thing, now you're gonna hear all the backflash they've been wanting to say about you throughout the years. Let's continue. Nasty work, Jim.
Huh? This motherfucker ain't never even been to jail before. Like, what penitentiary yard was he stomping in? The war where? What war you been in, homie? Because I ain't seen you on no battlefields, mother, out here perpetuating like you a real banger. You was a studio gangster. You ain't been blood enough than your fake ass fashion Damu. You look real cute. Sucker ass, challenge your ass. I'm gonna give you a challenge. How about I'll bust your ass and then you drop your flag? Huh? How about I'll come to your block? I'm from Brooklyn. All right? I'll fight you right on Lennox Avenue. All right? Beat the shit around and show you some war shit. All right? And be careful how you respond. Be very, very mindful of how you respond. Because I'm coming to the block. I'll fight you on your block for free. We ain't got to do this for no money. You talking about you want to been in war? I want to see how much war you been in when you going against the warrior.
That's what happens when you trigger the wrong homies. So we're going to continue, man. We're going to continue. Now, I want y'all to see a clip here where Jim Jones speaks about being a commercial blood and broadcasting this in the beginning of the time when he first came up as far as Dipset and the music videos and all this. List goes on. Peep this out.
Commercialized picture people seen from the Bloods on the East Coast was inside of that Latino video.
Yeah,
That was the original hot set. You started saying start to be born, right?
No, I seen the roll call and everything. Peace, so man, peace, club. I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm trying to jerk off. I'm trying to jerk off to go to sleep. And these guys are starting to roll call. And then they
Back to back, Lottie, you heard?
yeah, do my homies in 5 South want to know why the fuck I banged and why the fuck you banged? They go crazy. He start kicking the door.
Billy, get him.
You see what I mean here? I got a problem with that. I'm sorry. I just do. Because you're old, bro. And Jim, and if y'all know who that dude is, that's the guy that played in the Bronx Tale. Y'all remember that movie, The Bronx Tale? The little young guy, whatever, was based on him, whatever. That's him. Remember, he went through a little jail system. I mean, he went through a little ups and downs. He caught a couple charges. He was locked up in Rikers Island around that time, in the mid 90s, late 90s, and all that, early 2000s. He seen it. That's why he said that. He's like, man, I remember because I was there seeing that in Rikers Island and all this. And Jim is over there cheering and cheering like a little kid. You supposed to have said, man, listen, man, I understand, but that what happened in the past, you supposed to speak. You supposed to put a story behind that instead of cheering and agreeing with the guy saying and thinking this shit is cool. Because you got to understand, Jim, the next generation looking at you while you doing these interviews, champ. They thinking that shit cool at the age you at. That's the only thing I don't understand about Jim. It's cool that you made it out, you did what you did, but educate it more instead of celebrating and parading. Oh yeah, it's still cool to do this. I'm not gonna drop my flag. What? Why wouldn't you? You sound like you're still active. Oh, let's get to this part. Y'all forgot about the 6ix9ine situation when he had Jim on the conspiracy, on the tape, on the wiretap, when he said 6ix9ine need to be violated. What? But it sounds like you're still active. Anybody know about them feds and the wiretaps and all that? They automatically could have charged you with conspiracy. They already know that you active. They already know that you on the books. You register because you saved so much of your music and you showed it. So how the hell they never picked you up for that wiretap and saying that he need to get violated, this, that, and the third? That's another little spooky situation nobody never could have understand. Now everybody gonna say, nah, because Jim ain't active. I can't tell. He's showing that he's active all the time. Let's cut it out, man. Jim, you got to grow up, champ. I'm being honest. But let's continue, man. Let's get to this Wack 100 with this interview speaking about this whole little situation. I kind of agree with Wack 100 on this, to be honest, because if you're going to say Jim was a fake blood now, to all the people that's trying to say he a fake blood, why y'all ain't kick him out the whip 20-something plus years ago? Why now? That's the thing that's confused me. Why now? Yeah, because the money ran out. He ain't feeding everybody. That's the problem now. Let's continue with Wack 100, though. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video. Light one up, man, because I want y'all to be the judge on this. How y'all feel about Jimmy still praying to be a blood and not saying he's gonna drop his flag because he got a war to continue. We're gonna get to him too.
You've been calling him a rap for years. Everything I said that they were like ignoring, all the New York Bloods. I think some OG dude, they say he's a first generation New York blood, like Fondue or Mandu, something. He's calling Jim Zone out to a fade and all this shit.
Why? Why does that guy want to fade him?
Well, all of a sudden, Jim Jones was paying for his colors. You was paying for your rag. And, I'm kind of up in the air with this, right? And they're saying now Jim, some OG dude, they say he's a first generation New York blood, like Fondue or Mandu, something. He's calling Jim Zone out to a fade and all this shit.
Why? Why does that guy want to fade him?
Well, all of a sudden, Jim Jones was paying for his colors.
You see what I mean here, Paul? You see what I mean? When you stop feeding the family, certain people inside that system, this is what you're gonna get. You paying for your colors because you an entertainer, you an artist, you a hip hop artist. Even though you put it out there in the commercial, oh yeah, East Coast blood, this and that. But you see how they look at you. Even Wack 100 could see this, but Wack 100 don't agree with this because he's gonna say the same thing. If y'all feel like he paid his way to pay them colors, why y'all didn't kick him out the whip or kick him out that family a long time ago? Because that money was coming in, that part. Let's continue though with Wack 100 talking about this.
You was paying for your rag. And I'm kind of up in the air with this, right? And they're saying now Jim Jones not a blood. You can't say that.
He's been a blood for 30 years.
I'm gonna be real. Y'all can't say now 2025, Jim Jones is not a blood. Now, if I'm Jim Jones, I don't pay those dudes no attention social media-wise. I make sure my team is right, I make sure my security is right, and I keep moving doing what I'm going to do. Because a lot of these dudes, Jim probably never saw in his life. But the crazy part about it,
that part, and it's true because a lot of these OGs that speaking, they're the first generation of that East Coast blood and all this that Jim claimed for decades. Jim didn't see a lot of the people, them dudes are facing 20 years, 25. You got OGs that they're doing 30, still ain't coming home. Jim ain't never gonna see these dudes a day in his life. But his big homie is Mel Matrix. That's the guy that just came home. And people saying that the reason why they never told Jim he's not a real blood because of Mel Matrix. We're gonna get to him. I'm gonna show you a video of that guy. Let's continue though.
You hear him saying, we heard you on the wiretap. It was played in the federal trial. That's conspiracy. We all know that. And I'm sitting here laughing like.
If that was true, it was true 4 years ago.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah, all back then, that was, but I think what it is with them is like, if you're from California and you, believe it or not, although you're from New Hampshire, your voice is California.
Well, my understanding of gang shit is a California understanding.
Yeah.
Granted, I know about Chicago and New York and shit, but really, like, my baseline of what's normal gang-wise is based on everything I've seen in LA.
Yeah, so now they're attacking them with that stuff. But I'm going to be real. I really believe Mel Murder just came home, right? And I could be wrong, but I know how these things work. All this time, nobody said any of this.
And that's the issue that I have. Why all this time nobody ain't say nothing about Jim being a fake blood or Jim is not a real blood, this and that. He paid his way to pay the flag and this and that, and he's an informant. People saying all types of stuff about Jim, but why he's still claiming. Only thing I can think of, man, when you feed the family so much and you provided for that family so much, they're gonna hold you down even if you right or wrong, yo. I'm being honest. Think about it. Who put that banner, that blood set that Jim claimed, the Billy, the 9-3, whatever? He put that on a map. Even though it's not popular like it used to in the early 2000s, you got way other banners under that on Family now, the Bloods and all that. So many different sets now. It's ridiculous. But 9-3 was one of the popular ones in the early times. He put that on the map. But why discredit what he did? Why discredit what he provided for the family now? That's the thing you got to understand when you stop doing for others. That part. And this is an educational note for all the youngest. So when you stop doing for others, yeah, sit back and realize how they're gonna treat you. Give it about 60 days. No, man, nigga, give it about 30 days. I guarantee you they're gonna treat you totally different. Cause they always come to you because they always think you got it. It ain't a problem back then, but now when the money dry up, it's a problem now. Jim ain't no real blood. Let's continue Wack 100 speaking about this, though. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel.
Because of respect to Mel murder in his relationship with Jim while he's gone. So now that he's home, they're attacking him with it, right? That math doesn't add up. That tells me maybe Mel Murder wasn't too happy about his coming home rewards. And now Mel is saying, apply a little pressure, right? So maybe he doubles back and that gives me reason to request or demand a little more.
But we just saw Jim Jones and Mel like embracing at the train station when he got home from prison, right?
You have never heard these New York Bloods attack Jim in this manner.
Really?
While Mel was
I haven't seen any
gone.
of this.
Look, while Mel was gone.
Send me links to that because I would like to check that out.
Like, what? It's crazy.
Really?
Like, while Mel was gone. Now,
Yo, text me that.
he's home. He's home, bro.
Right.
And you know, while he was gone, they didn't play with him like this. Now he's home and this shit is crazy. Hold on.
That's what I'm trying to explain here. Mel Matrix was the one that been holding Jim down for a lot of years, to be honest. He's the one that been holding Jim down. Only Mel. Nobody else. If Mel wasn't around, Jim probably would have a lot of problems with them, a lot of Bloods. And I'm telling you, Mel Matrix and that Brooklyn crew and all that 9-3 shit in Brooklyn, that's what helped Jim Jones throughout all these years. And we gotta explain something here before we continue. We gotta explain something. Being part of that was part of Jim Jones' career. That kind of like got his career taken off, being part of that family, showing it. Because we gotta admit here, man, when we see stuff like that in hip hop, even though it's ignorant, even though we don't understand when we get older, we like, damn, we don't know why we was following that. Nah, I mean, we don't know why we turned gang members and all this and that. It's because it's what you see, you think is cool. Sometimes with neighborhoods you live at. Sometimes if you're locked up in the jail system, you have no choice sometimes. Sometimes you got to join a family. Some people can't stand on their own. Sometimes they outnumbered. So there's certain situations why you join a family. But we got to admit, when we seen that shit in hip hop, when Dipset came out, the whole East Coast went crazy thinking that shit was cool. They looked at the fashion before anything else. LA don't do fashion. Them niggas bang before they fash. It seemed like when that shit hit here and Jim Jones started promoting that shit, we gotta admit it, he did promote this shit in the early 2000s, very heavy, but he promoted with style. Had the youngest thinking it was cool. I was once upon a time young too, that part. So that's the reason I'm explaining that. I thought it was cool. Everybody thought it was cool. Red rags in the car, red rags on the seat. You wearing the drip. You got the leather jackets on. You know, they brought a different type of swag with being a gang member. It makes you look cool also. That part, if it makes sense. But why y'all didn't kick him out the whip a long time ago? Why attack him now? Because the money dried up now. He's not providing for everybody no more. That's what's going on here. Let's continue though. And I feel bad for Jim because at the end of the day, you did so much for probably a family that you had love for. You ready to, just like you did for Cam. And now these niggas, certain niggas turning their back on you. And the only ones holding you down is the family that been around you for the longest, that really know you. Like I said, when you provide for the family, they're going to hold you down when you're right or you're wrong. That part. Let's continue, though.
This point can say, Jim, you ain't the blood. That shit don't work.
Yeah.
That you can't.
I love that. Like as soon as like 4X and X4 started beefing, it was like, you ain't really from here. Or like you got to come here and get put off. It's like as soon as there's any kind of like internal conflict, it's like, oh, you're actually not from here in the first place. Yeah, you got it tattooed all over your face. We were cool a week ago, but sorry, it was fake all along.
I just sent it to you. It's great. He's talking crazy.
I'll check that out. But okay, so I did want to get your thoughts on that. Jim Jones approaching Akademiks in an aggressive manner at the YB show. How you feel about that?
I think I was talking to Ak, and I said, well, Ak, what was he really upset about?
It didn't seem like it was clear to Ak at all.
Yeah, what was he really upset about?
Ak's having to like guess at what might have offended him.
And the fact that Jim was just talking in circles, you know how they do, the New York dudes. They good at saying a bunch of shit that really don't add up to nothing.
That's gangbangers in general. I'm sorry,
You
but
know
there's
what
a lot of times I've sat across from a gang member on here who's giving me a whole lot of razzle dazzle and a lot of dead homies and a lot of all this shit, and I'm like,
you know what?
You really have not made much of a point here. No offense to Jim, but actually Jim is a smart guy, but I could imagine him being mad at Akademiks and not really knowing how to verbalize why he's mad at Akademiks.
I don't know what Ak did. I was still trying to figure it out. But I don't think he did nothing too serious because he didn't do nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? I do know that Jim wanted an interview after the Ye interview.
And
Now, we all remember when Jim tried to approach Akademiks. He tried to approach Akademiks actually at the YB concert. And I did a video about that. He approached him with aggressive, oh yeah, y'all gotta watch what y'all saying, y'all bloggers, you thinking this cool, this and that. Akademiks like, what are you talking about? The only thing I'm doing is speaking on what's going on. That's basically what we do here. You can't judge us on the things that you say on your interview. We're watching your interview. So when you say something, of course we're going to react to it, Jim. But for you to approach Akademiks like that, it's straight bugged out to me, to be honest. And I did a video about that. Why you approach people like a True Life and everybody else that called you several names and say that they chased you around New York and all this. Oh yeah, Max B on his way home too. Once you go chase the first generation Bloods that's calling you out for a face, you want to act like you're still active. Oh yeah, I ain't with the dropping your flag there. I got a war out here. We got to continue. And, I got to help people, this and that, and the third. War. That's the key word that you messed up on when you said that. You don't trigger so many OGs because they went through blood, sweat, and a box and tears for this shit in them prison systems, champ. If you don't know, you know. So when you say stuff like that, you automatically triggering everybody that went through war. Telling you, Jim, I tell these people every day, it's the words that you use in your interview, and y'all get mad when the bloggers come out and we react to it. Don't get mad at us because we're reacting and we putting our smoke and our opinion involved in this. Stop talking so much and stop saying ignorant stuff that you're at the age that you at. You 50 years old, champ. You shouldn't even use the word war. Oh yeah, I got a war to go on. I can't continue to do this. I'm not dropping my flag. Like what? Once you say, yeah, that's something cool that Hocus 4/5 is doing. I've been unactive. That's the word that you should have used. I'm not active. But you talk like you are active, chat. Let's continue though. Hey.
Which was a political move. It made sense at the time.
Oh, yeah, that was intentional that Ak kind of dubbed him?
I think Ak just didn't follow up and Jim didn't follow up.
Well, Ak was probably trying to keep his Kanye card good.
I mean, that's what I told him. That's what I suggested to him.
If you're going to be a Kanye BFF, let's be real, you're probably going to fall out with him within a couple months anyway, so you might as well not do interviews with his ops. Or I don't know that Kanye would have ever really cared about him having a conversation with Jim. But either way, I mean, it's the number one situation where Jim Jones is not going to get off on him, right? He's got security. There's hella venue security. Acts in good with YB's team. Birdman standing right there.
He wasn't gonna disrespect Birdman.
As much as Jim Jones might be a hothead and might be kind of liable to fly off the handle, I don't really see him being, that burnt out.
That wasn't gonna happen.
Jim absolutely wasn't gonna do nothing to act while Birdman and all them YBs did. While all them people there, he wasn't gonna disrespect. Act, yeah, you can see me in the back room, 9-tray, this and that. Jim wasn't gonna do none of that. Jim just acting like an old young nigga trying to approach people that he want to approach, allegedly. That's all he does, because you don't approach people like this. Hold up. Y'all forgot about this dude right here, True Life? He home. He spoke about this. He threw subliminal messages at Cam and Jim. This is about, what, a year or two? I want to say, a year ago, probably a year and a half ago, when he said, y'all dudes better stop saying my name in your mouth. Y'all going to say my name in your mouth, pause. Y'all better say the right story, tell the truth, stop going around in circles. And this is towards Cam and Jim. Now, people, True Life. Once you approach True Life, and Max B on his way home and all this, you talking about you don't want to squash no beef with Max B, but why you don't squash? Why you squash the beef with True Life then? You see, there's certain people that he approaches, certain people that he don't. Peep this out with True Life, man. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, man. Shout out to True Life.
When I've been said live on cameras, and I've allowed them to slide, because I'm like, my God, don't make me hop out of retirement, bro. Really take the belt off my nigga and spank your ass live on IG. Cause shit is real different right now with all these cameras. So if you start to get me to go crazy out here, you're not gonna be able to go outside no more, bro. Cause I won't even stop, my nigga. I really would smash fuck your career. I'ma smash your confidence into the motherfucking ground. And I could, but I choose not to, man, because I'm just being humble and I'm being godly, man. So I'm gonna let you tell a story how you want to, man. But if I hear you say my name one more time in any interview ever and mention my name, which I doubt you're gonna do it because you got it off and I gave you the pass, just know I gave you that pass, though, man. Because you don't want me to tell a story the real way it went down.
Now, y'all see what I mean? When you got dudes like that chased around New York and this and that, and yeah, I remember the DVD era. Shout out to True Life, man. Why you don't squat? Why you don't talk like that to him that's still active, still running around? And he's saying like, yeah, y'all continue saying my name or bringing my name up in y'all little stories, but y'all ain't telling the story right. Oh yeah, I'm gonna come out of retirement and show. This time we got phones. You see, once upon a time when True Life was chasing them niggas, allegedly, there wasn't no cell phones like the way we got them now. That part. Anybody that followed that ever, they understand exactly what I'm talking about. There wasn't no HD cell phones that we got. Yo, look at Jimmy getting chased. It wasn't none of this. It was just coming of age. Telling y'all, man, this dude pick and choose who he want to talk about. But let's continue though.
Ed Rags, he is not with the Hocus movement at all. It is 5 popping to the casket drop. Jim Jones said that he gonna be banging blood till God take him home. But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like button, y'all. It's 100 TV.
I see. Let me ask you a question.
All right.
So have you been seeing Hocus 4/5 doing the put the flag down?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
To each his own, you heard? But I think it's a way to do everything. I think that the positive message that he's trying to push, he didn't have to drop his flag to do so. You heard? Like we in a war right now. You heard? And
You see, I'm glad I came to this part of the video. Because the way you talk like you active. Let's go back 2 years ago when 6ix9ine and all this shit happened when the niggas got indicted. And you on a wiretap, yeah, he gotta get violated. Yeah, he gotta get violation. Yeah, it's definitely a violation, this and that. But when that shit happened, you was on the interviews crying, yo, man, free Mel, this and that. Nigga, you was losing weight and everything. Nigga, you was stressed out. You was stressed out, chat. But all of a sudden now, yeah, you ain't got to drop this flag and this and that. Yo, why are you making it seem like you so active in the street? Like if like you ready to spin a block. This is what the fair's looking at also. So anything that's under your umbrella that's running underneath you, and them niggas do any type of foolery, meaning they trick themselves out the streets. Oh, and then they turn around and rap. Oh, everything's gonna come to you. They're gonna look at you because you the big homie. You got the little niggas around you running around doing what you're doing. Yeah, you said, yeah, you still active, right? So what you gonna say? Yeah, I came out of retirement. I ain't telling them little niggas what to do. No, because the way you talk on these goddamn interviews, like you still active, Jimmy. It's like you gotta show that you tough for some strange reason. That's bugged out to me. Let's go back though, man.
How y'all feel about this in the comments? And don't forget to hit the like button, y'all. It's 100 TV.
I see. Let me ask you a question.
All right.
So have you been seeing Hocus 4/5 doing the put the flag down?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
To each his own. You heard? But I think it's a way to do everything. I think that the positive message that he's trying to push, he didn't have to drop his flag to do so. You heard? Like we in a war right now. You heard? And us being in the position and for the things that people see us for is either going to work two ways for us. Negative or positive is how you paint the picture. I've been turning this picture into a positive situation for a long time. I ain't the perfect person. I know what I chose to get into. I know the brotherhood that I'm a part of, and I know why I'm here. The reasons I started with are not the reasons that I'm ending with. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in a real solid place where I can help a lot of these kids that grew up misplaced and just in the hood with nothing to look forward to, and nothing. Like, I can help that. I can help offset that. And even if I can help one person, then I know I did my job, and maybe that one person can help somebody else. But people put themselves in certain situations, and I don't know his certain situations, so I just don't want to talk bad about nobody that's probably trying to get himself out of whatever he's into. But I do know for a fact that this is a little bit deeper than dropping the flag for me. You heard? Like, I started something that has destroyed a lot of lives, that had put a lot of people in danger. Like, I know that wholeheartedly. I take accountability for everything that I do. You heard? But on the flip side is that I'm still here and I'm still moving with my brotherhood, and I'm showing them a positive thing. What I've done has not been done where I'm from.
Y'all get what I'm saying now? Like, I don't understand this dude. I'm gonna let y'all be the judge. Let y'all comment, put y'all smoke in the box on this in the comment, because you come off now. These are the key words. He coming off aggressive. Yeah, I started this. Yeah, I started this. This is like, now you started this. You didn't start. You ain't start because it started in behind the walls, Jimmy. You brought it to the commercial entertainment world. As far as like, yeah, East Coast, but pardon me, y'all, East Coast blood and all this. Yeah, you did all that, but you ain't started. It started behind the wall. Why you think you triggered so many OG first generations that banged, that went through hell behind that shit, behind that G wall, man? Niggas was in the solitary for probably years behind that. And they come home, they home watching you say some shit like that. You know how they feel about that? By you saying that? Oh yeah, I started a war, this and that, and I saw there's a positive way. All this little shenanigans you want to say. Okay, kudos to you, nigga. We know that. There's a lot of positive bloods and gang members out there that's doing great in college and everything. What war are you fighting? You go home to a goddamn mansion every day. What war are you fighting? Do you got a boys and girls club? Do you got anything going on like that besides your little studio and trying to give these kids an opportunity of studio time? Nigga, they could do that shit at home. It's independent season. These kids don't need nobody. They can make music off their phone, nigga. They don't need you. So what type of help are you doing? Giving backpacks? Niggas doing that shit for years. Regular niggas do that. That part. What are we talking about? You see, I had to react to this because I'm like, I was waiting to get to this video right here, the last one, because I'm like, bro, okay, I agree with Wack 100 saying that they can't smash on you and judge you for being blood now, because they should have did that 20 plus years ago. But see, 20 plus years ago, it was all about the money. You was providing. It looked cool and all this, that, and the third. Niggas was eating behind that prison wall when your career was just taking off and you was bringing that East Coast blood to the worldwide network, television, fashion, videos, and everything else you could speak on. Jim did that. No, I give him that. Because there was only one rapper that was really in that spotlight to do that, and that was Jim, because he's with Cameron. They had that spotlight to do all, show all that bloods and flags and all this. Yeah, you got that, but you ain't started, nigga. You start. What you did was you made it a trend. That's all you did, because of your position you was in hip hop. I'm out of here, man. I could be here all day talking about this. I'm gonna let y'all comment below. Give me y'all smoke about Jim Jones and his, dropping the flag, and Wack 100 is basically everybody saying Jim is a fake blood. What y'all think? Y'all think he's just an entertaining fashion blood, or y'all think he a real blood that come from them streets that we know a lot of? I'll let y'all be the judge on that. I'm out of there. We on to the next video, man. We're going to start doing these videos like this. So I hope y'all like the whole scenery, how I'm dropping this with the screen. All this the way we got the platform looking now. So smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, keep that notification bell on. Make sure you give me a smoke in that comment section, man, because this dude is out of pocket and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of even talking about this dude, to be honest. But we out there, man. We on to the next video, man. It's your boy Smoke News TV. Salute, gang. I'm out of here. If they know, they know. I'm out of here, man.